Banjul, the capital city of the Gambia, was never meant to be just an island. It became the symbol of survival, struggle, and strength in West Africa. This city has a long and important history. It started as an empty island that was sometimes used by the local Mandinka people who lived nearby. Over time, this quiet place changed a lot. It became a key location during the time of European explorers, a base for British colonizers, and later the center of the fight for Gambia's freedom. Banjul played a big role during the time when slavery was being stopped. It was also important during political changes that helped the Gambia become an independent country in 1965. Because of these changes, Banjul became the heart of the nation, where the government is based and where many big decisions are made. Even today, it is still the country's center for politics and business. In this video, we will take you on a journey through time, from before the European arrived to when Banjul was under British rule to when the Gambia became free, and all the way to what Banjul is like today. You will learn about its role in trade, slavery, leadership, and how the city continues to grow and change. Long before the European ships appeared in the horizon, the land where Banjul now stands was a quiet, uninhabited island located between the mouth of the river Gambia and the Atlantic Ocean. Although no permanent settlement existed there, the island was not forgotten. It was well known and frequently visited by the Nyominka people, a coastal subgroup of a larger Mandinka ethnic group. These indigenous communities knew the island as a valuable resource for survival and daily life. The Nyominkas would paddle over in their canoes to fish in the surrounding waters, collect firewood from the island's sparse trees, and gather rope fibers from the mighty baobab trees which surrounded the island. This process of collecting the strong, fibrous strands from the baobabs was known in Mandinka as julo, a skill passed down through generations. Over time, this humble activity gave rise to a local term, bang julo, which means rope fiber in Mandinka. Some historians believe that this name gradually evolved into Banjul. The name, the island, and eventually the capital city would come to bear. In the 15th centuries, Portuguese explorers became the first Europeans to sail into the Gambia River region. They were interested in trading in the area, its natural resources, and the strategic positioning. While they didn't establish major cities in the area, they left their mark by founding small settlements and trading posts along the coast. A few Portuguese settlers and their descendants stayed behind over the years, integrating into the local communities and shaping the cultural landscape. One part of the modern-day Banjul, which remained a trace of this heritage, later became known as Portuguese Town. By the early 19th centuries, British were seeking a strategic location to establish a settlement that would help in abolishing the transatlantic slave trade. The island, situated at the mouth of the river Gambia, was perfect for this purpose. According to sources, on April 23, 1816, Captain Alexander the Great, a British naval officer, negotiated with King Tumani Bojang of Kombo to purchase the island. In return, the British agreed to pay 103 bars, approximately 25 pounds annually. The British renamed the island St. Mary's Island and established a settlement called Bathurst in honor of Henry Bathurst, the British Secretary of State for War and the Colonies. The city was designed in a modified grid pattern with many street names after colonial masters, a practice that continues today. Bathurst was founded as a military and trading post, serving as a base for the British to monitor French and Portuguese activities and suppress the slave trade. Even though the British were working hard to stop slave trade, slavery was still ongoing in many different parts of West Africa. Banjul which was known as Barbados at the time, became an important place in this fight against slavery. British used this island as a base for their navy ships called the West Africa Squadron. These ships sailed along the coast to catch slave traders and stop slave ships from taking people away. When the navy catches these slave ships, the people who were taken as slaves were freed and brought to Barbados. Some of them stayed and started new lives there, while others were sent to Freetown in Sierra Leone, which was also a safe place for freed slaves. Over time, Barbados became home to many different people, freed slaves, traders, and workers from different backgrounds and tribes moved to the town. These include the Akus, also known as the Creoles, the Wolof, the Mandinka, and other people. All of these people helped shape Barbados into a lively and diverse community with many different languages, cultures, and traditions. Not everyone agreed with the British settling in Barbados dictating how things are run around that region. In around 1831, on the mainland, just across the river from Barbados, lived the king of Bara called King Burungai Sonko. He ruled that area and didn't agree with the British trying to take control of the river Gambia. Over time, the tension between the two sides grew, and eventually it led to fighting. This became known as the Banjul War. During the war, the British soldiers faced strong resistance from the king of Bara and his warriors. The British were not prepared for how tough the fighting would be and ended up losing many men. Because of this, they had to pull back and return to Sierra Leone to get more soldiers and supplies. After this setback, the British realized they needed better protection on the island. So they built a small fort in Barbados called Fort Lovell, named after a French Navy officer, Père Francois de Lovell. This fort helped them defend their bases and prepare for future battles. Eventually, with reinforcement, the British returned stronger and managed to take control of Bara. After their victory, they built Fort Bullen on the mainland. This fort became an important place for stopping the slave trade and protecting the area from future conflicts. After the Banjul-Bara War, which briefly disrupted the early settlers, Banjul quickly reorganized and developed into one of the busiest trading towns in West Africa. Its location near the mouth of River Gambia made it ideal for commerce, especially for goods like groundnuts, fish, and imported products from Europe. As trade expanded, people from all over the Gambia and beyond moved to Barbados, looking for work and better opportunities. Some found jobs in trading, others worked as fishermen, porters, shopkeepers, or joined the colonial administrations. The population grew steadily, and the town became more vibrant and diverse. By the early 1900s, Barbados was not only a trading center, but also the heart of political and social change in the Gambia. It became a place where educated Gambians began to speak up against unfair colonial policies and demand more rights for the people. One of the most important and brave figures during this time was Edward Francis Small from 1891 to 1962. He was a journalist, a teacher, and a political activist who worked tirelessly to improve the lives of ordinary Gambians. He started the first trade union in the Gambia, helping workers to organize and demand better working conditions and fair pay. He founded the first newspaper in West Africa, using it as a tool to educate people and raise political awareness. His activism angered the British colonial government, and as a result, he was exiled from the country for some time. Even though he faced many challenges, Edward Francis Small's efforts were not in vain. He paved the way for future leaders like Reverend J.C. Faye, Honorable Per Njai Parimangsingate and Gabo Jahumpa, who continued the fight for independence. Finally, after years of struggle, the Gambia gained independence in February 18, 1965, with Batos as the capital city. It was a proud moment for the country. To honor its African roots and identity, the city of Batos was officially renamed Banjul in 1973. Today, Banjul stands as a symbol to the Gambia's journey from colonial rule to self-rule and national pride. After the Gambia gained independence in 1965, Banjul continued to grow as the country's main political and economic hub. The same energy that had once made it a busy trade town before independence now helped shape it into a modern city. Government offices were built and many businesses opened to serve the growing population. Key markets like Albert Market, Marse Musate, and Marse Lasowav became even more active, attracting traders and buyers from across the country. During the dry season, people from rural parts of the Gambia traveled to Banjul to find seasonal works in markets, ports, and offices. This seasonal migration added to the city's diversity and vibrancy. Banjul also became known for its religious harmony. It is home to 4 historic churches and 3 major mosques, showing its importance to both Christians and Muslim communities. The city remained not just a place of trade and government, but also a symbol of unity and cultural identity for the entire country. While many towns in the Gambia were traditionally ruled by kings or alcalos, Banjul's story was different. From the start of the British rule, the city was governed by appointed officials instead of traditional rulers. This gave Banjul a more formal administrative style of leadership compared to rural areas. After independence in 1965, Banjul transitioned to a more democratic system. The people were now allowed to elect their own mayor, giving them a greater say in how their city was run. Over the years, several notable individuals have served as mayor of Banjul, including Sanakasane, Keba Konate, Abdoulaye Ba, and Sambafal. A major milestone in the city's leadership came in 2018, where Rohi Malik Low was elected as the first female mayoress of Banjul. Her election was not just historic to the city, but also a powerful movement by women in the Gambian politics. Banjul is organized into 3 main constituencies: Banjul North, Banjul Central, and Banjul South. Each of these constituencies is further divided into 9 wards, making it easier to manage local government and provide services to the residents. This structure helps ensure that different parts of the city have representation and a voice in decision making. Today, Banjul remains the heart of the Gambia's government and economy. As the capital city, it continues to house important government offices, businesses, and trade centers. Thanks to the strategic location at the mouth of River Gambia, Banjul acts as a gateway connecting Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Its seaport and international airport plays a major role in importing and exporting goods, making the city a key player in global trade. Like many growing cities, Banjul faces challenges such as overcrowding, flooding, and aging infrastructures. However, there have been many efforts to improve the city. These include revamping roads, building new facilities, and preserving historic buildings and cultural sites that reflect Banjul's rich culture and history. Despite the changes and challenges of modern life, Banjul continues to grow, adapt, and inspire, standing as a proud symbol of Gambia's past, present, and the future.